So good morning and welcome to the next instalment of my vlog. I'm here this morning in Sully-sur-Loire. This is the beginning of the UNESCO World Heritage Site, and just in front of me, about 100 meters just over there, is the chateau of Sully-sur-Loire. It's a beautiful chateau, beautiful castle, and I'm here for dawn. It's been quite stormy overnight. Some of that cloud has cleared, but will I get what I want? I don't know. Maybe there'll be a nice dawn. Maybe it'll be too clear. Until I get out there, until I start working, I won't know. So let's get on with it and let's get going. But you can see here how I've composed this. So everything is bowled upright on the back of my camera. At the moment I don't need any grads. Dawn is going on behind me. Well, it was, but the cloud has started to come over. But actually I don't mind that, because it means it's quite nice and moody. So at the moment I'm using a 24mm Canon 24mm tilt shift, the TSE Mark II, and there's a 1.4 extender on there. One of the things that I actually was here in September last year, and there were no building works going on, but because it's winter they seem to be doing some renovation on the chateau. So I've slightly moved my position from where I was, because just behind, if I see if just around here, there's like a container, a white container, which is spoiling the view that I have of the chateau. Now I was hoping that the cloud would be broken enough, the sunrise behind me would come up and illuminate the cloud and make them nice and colourful, but that doesn't seem to be happening this morning. But as I said, that's not too much of a problem. It is winter, and after all. But there we go, that's what it is that I've got. So I better get on and start working, otherwise I'm going to miss my shot. I've now finished at Sully-sur-Loire. It was a great morning. It didn't do exactly as I hoped it was going to do, but there was still some really nice glowing red light onto the chateau with the blue cloud that was behind it, the high colour temperature cloud. So that basically I feel really happy I've got something, and the drive was worth it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and do a bit of a recce. There's a chateau near here in a little village called Bellegarde. I found it the other day while I was searching around on Google for ideas. After that, there's a basilica that I'm going to go to that's got some really nice Gothic architecture by the looks of it. Why am I doing these places? Well, just why not? You know, travel photography is what I do. I'm a travel stock photographer, and for me travel is adventure, getting out there, exploring what's around us and going to other countries, other places. So you know, I have to get out there. I can't sit around at home just twiddling my thumbs dreaming. I would rather get out there and live that dream and see what it is that I can find. So let's go and see what we can find. Off to Bellegarde. As you can see, I'm here in Bellegarde, and behind me is that chateau. Fantastic looking building, fantastic architecture, absolutely typical of the Loire Valley. One of the other nice things is the sky's starting to break up a little bit. Of the clouds that are up in the sky, as I was driving over, looked quite gloomy, but there's now some quite nice blue sky up there. So whether that will come into my shot or not, I don't know, but I'd like to see if I could actually find something and come away with a good shot of this shadow today. Even though I'm here just for a recce, I'd still like to get a good shot of it. And I also saw on the way driving here another place, so I've changed my plans. Although I was going to go to the basilica after this place, I found another place. It's about 15 minutes from here. It looks as though it might be quite interesting, so once I'm done here I'm going to be heading off there. I think it's called Ivry-le-Château, the Châtel, I think it is, Ivry-le-Châtel, so we'll see. But in the meantime, let's see what we can do with the chateau at Bellegarde. As you can see, I've moved position from where I was, so I was over the other side of the chateau there. The workmen that are doing whatever it is they're doing around the chateau, clearing up, I guess, for the new season that's coming, they came into shot. They came around the moat in a boat, and I found it really distracting, so I tried to think what else is it that I could do. I did try different angles, different lenses over the other side just to see if something would work, and I could find nothing for me that was actually very pleasing. I tried a panorama with a tilt shift lens. Has it worked? I don't think it has. There's some nice buildings over the other side of the chateau. The problem is though that if you use too wide of a lens, that they then just look so far in the distance, it just looks daft. And then if you use something too close, you lose the nice reflection. But what has happened is, as you can see, it's actually got a lot clearer now. So what's turned into a recce shot has turned into a proper photo for me, rather than just a record of something I'm going to have to come back to. I've actually got something I'm really pleased with. Now what have I done? I'll just explain. Now a lot of people, when they see a scene like this, they think, great, it's a reflection, let's put the horizon in the middle. Does it always work? It's not always the case that it will work. A lot of the time it will, but in this case for me it didn't work. So when I'm looking here at the shadow, I was looking around and thinking, what elements are there in there that I wanted to include, and what did I not want to include? So for example, let's start with when I first arrived. When I first arrived, over the other side of the chateau, over here, there was a work van, a nice white big transit van, which was stuck in the middle of my shot. Do I really want that there? Now, okay, I was here for a recce, but at the same time it still bothers me, so I tried to find different ways around removing that van. So I did find a way, and then workmen being workmen, they then got in their van and then drove the van round, and it was back in my shot again. So I had to then go and find another composition. So over the other side, so where you can see this bridge here, over the other side of the bridge, I tried to find somewhere again that would work. It didn't really work. I kind of was a little bit frustrating. So what I did is, you can see if I just pan up around here, that it's easy, just you can walk all around the castle itself. So there's all sorts of opportunities, but for me I found this particular corner, and in the end I just thought, okay, the landscape shot didn't really work. If I wanted to get all of the shadow as a reflection, then it was too wide for me. It just looked a bit too daft. So I decided to do it on portrait, and then with the 35mm tilt shift that I've got, well, it's 24 plus the 1.4 extender, that helped to bring the shadow a lot closer to me, and then I was able to get what it is I wanted. Now at the moment you can see the light is actually quite flat. We do have obviously daylight, but the sun is gone behind a cloud bank behind me, so that's these shadows not being illuminated at all. Thankfully about 15 minutes ago I did actually get the shot I wanted, but it just goes to show that at times, if you go somewhere, don't just stick on a lens that you're always thinking, yeah, I know what I want here. It's not always the case that it definitely will work. Sometimes you have to work that scene. You just walk around, see what it is that works. Does it work on this particular angle of the light? Does it work on another? Am I too wide? Am I too long? What is it that I really need to do? Do I need all the reflection? Can I have part of the reflection? There's all these kind of considerations that go through your mind as a photographer when you're taking images like this. So for me, I've got my particular image. it's there. It's done as a portrait. I'm very pleased, and so that's kind of like the thought process the thought processes that I was going through. So I've moved on from Bellegarde, and I've driven out to the village of Ivry-le-Châtel or Ivry-le-Châtel. I can't remember which one. I saw its fleeting glance on a sign earlier on today when I was on my way to Bellegarde. So back there you can see the village. There's a ruined castle, and there's the church steeple there, as well as some of the houses from the village which are visible. At the moment it doesn't look great, I have to admit that, but it is winter time, the fields aren't planted, and there's grey sky up there, so it looks a bit grim. However, I think come the springtime, come the summertime, it could actually look quite nice out there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a recce shot just to remind me of what it is that's here, and then I'm going to bank it for around April, May time and come back around then and see what it is that I can do with it. So I think it was worth the detour, and I'll be back later in the year to get this. But for now, what I'm going to do is just move on to my next location, which is going to be Clery Saint André, where there's a Gothic basilica. So until then, maybe I'll do some thoughts in the car. But until then, let's move on. One of the things that I do love about France is the driving. You do have these wide open spaces, and if you get the right sky, it can look absolutely fantastic out there. But this is as well something that you've seen with my day, that I have a plan and I've deviated from that plan. But that's what I do, I just think, okay, for sunrise I want this, for sunset I want this. Today sunset isn't going to work, so what do? I adapt, and I think, okay, what else is there around the place where I've started my day? The weather's closed in. This looks as though it could be interesting around here, not necessarily this place I'm driving to, but just around the area in general. What is there? Is there something that's worth doing and worth investigating? It looks to me as though there was. Just driving through the village became apparent it's one of the beaux villages de France, one of the beautiful villages of France. Just looking at what I did see of it, it did look as if it was going to be a beautiful little village. Come back at the right time of year, I think that'd be fantastic. So as I said, back there is banked. I'll be back in the spring, summer, and hopefully I can do that little village back there justice. But until then, I'm off to find some lunch, as it's 12:30. I've now arrived in Clery Saint André, and up to my left there is the basilica, and I saw on the way in that one of the French kings is buried in there, so I'm guessing that inside it's going to be something pretty special. From the outside it looks typical French Gothic, looks Gothic flamboyant architecture there, beautiful windows. I would photograph the outside, but it started to rain, which is a real shame. And I've also heard on the radio over here that there's about 100 km/h winds that are about to hit the west coast of France and make their way inland. So what I'm going to do is get some images inside, and I'm going to forget trying to get anything at sunset and just go from here, just have a good look around inside. Maybe I can see if I can film. If there's somebody inside, ask them if it would be okay if I can film. But apart from that, let's get going. We've got inside that gorgeous looking Gothic basilica there. So I'm here in the basilica of Clery Saint André, and according to the information I read on this place, it's as I thought it would be, is Gothic flamboyant from the style of the windows, and this is also the resting place of Louis XI. Now, if I just walk around, I'm sure you can start to see some of the amazing Gothic architecture that we've got here. It's absolutely fantastic. And I'm speaking low just because we're inside a church, and I just want to be respectful of the place that I'm in. As you can see also from my breath, it's quite cold too, so I'm just entering into the nave now, so you'll see behind me. It's absolutely fantastic architecture that's all around. It's just absolutely amazing. What I've got here on the edge of the screen is the column on either side. So they are identical in how I've measured them out. So you'll also see as well that the arches, they come up and they're also level with the top of the middle of the nave at the back there. For me, is it pleasing? I do kind of like it. I'm not sure it's exactly how I want it to be. But at first glance it definitely looks as though it is the final photo for me. I might just have a play around just to see what else I can do with it. But that's basically how I would do like a cathedral or church nave such as this. This one's also quite tall, so you really have to shift the lens right up to be able to get everything in. So you can see, like at the back, all the stained glass windows. There's beautiful stained glass windows at the back there of the church. And that's how I would do a nave. What I've done is I've pulled my camera further back into the nave. I've set everything up again, I've lined everything up, and I have an image that is similar-ish to the first image. With each image there's pluses and minuses. Each one works in its own way. Which one is better? I don't know. I'm going to have to wait until I get home to see them. But from now, what I'm going to do is just going to have more of a look around the basilica here and see what else there is that I can do. But what I'm going to do, basically what I'm going to do now for the camera is I'm just going to sign off until next week. And I'm just going to say thank you for everybody that is subscribing to this channel. I really appreciate everybody who's coming along to watch what it is that I do and appreciating the images that I create. Everything is very appreciated. Please comment, please keep coming back. And if you want, you can contact me through Facebook, and you can like my page on Facebook as well with Julian Elliott Photography. But until then, I'll see you next week. Thank you very much.